Video will show you how we can drill some holes using the 3D CAM module. Okay, so I've started 3D CAM and I've imported my model, and as you can see there's a series of holes to be drilled. So the first thing we need to do is to create sketches which can then be used to find the center points. So if I right click the mouse and say pick faces, pick that top face, right click and say make a sketch from the face. So that makes a sketch of all of those holes. So the center finding routine works on sketches, not features, so you need to create sketches of the holes first. Okay, so that's created the sketches. So now we can create points. So we go into geometry, points, switch on the snapping here. I want center point snap, but also check that the selection filter in the options page here has arc and circle checked, otherwise it won't find the center of the sketches. Okay, so indicate the sketches, and as you can see it's just picking up and locking on to the center point of those sketches and creating a series of points which we can then use for the drilling operation. So we now need to just press escape to stop drawing the points. So we can now use those points to drill some holes. Assuming that you've got your tools already defined, you can just pick them from the list of tools. So what we need to do next is just to pick the holes or the points in the order that we want to machine them. So if I right click the mouse again and click pick anything, then I can choose the points. So choose that point, hold down the control key, then that one and that one. So that's chosen the points. Go into the milling tab and say drill. So you can see that it's picked up the list of points there. If I want to add points or delete points, then I can use the pick button here and add or remove selections from that. The cycle type here, drilling, deep drilling, pecking, reaming, tapping, etc. as you need. Choose the tools from the list of tools that you've got. You don't need a pattern unless you're repeating a section of holes. You don't need to apply it to a surface, so it's just a question of entering the clearance plane and how deep you want to go. So we're using, in this case we'd be using a 10mm slot cutter to drill those flat bottom holes. So that just creates the machining operation, as you can see, on those three holes. Now we can do the same thing on the deeper holes, which are the larger diameters. So we pick that one, hold down the control key, so that's just those two. Then we do drill, and this time we'll have a peck drill cycle. Choose the size drill that we want and set the depth that we want to drill to. Now when you're defining, if you want to drill right the way through, just add an amount on so that it takes into account the drill lead. That's normally a third of the drill diameter is a good guesstimate for that. Okay, so that's it. And if we look at the bottom of the model, you can see those two lines there that the holes have been drilled. So you could now do exactly the same thing on these other holes. So let me first of all define a small tool. That's 2.5 diameter. That's okay for a 2.5mm drill bit. So then we just choose those two holes, hold down the control key, and then go to drill. That will have to be a deep drill cycle, because I want the tool to retract right out of the hole at each thing. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so that's created the toolpath for those drilled holes.